2015. As you can see, I'm here doing it solo this week by choice, just because I feel like it. But make sure to head over to blitzsportsnetwork.com. Get yourself a subscription. Cost of McDonald's value meal. Hey, your free trials to the YouTube channel. You get what you get here, there, with no ads, tons of extras, around 800 pro wrestling videos on the past, present, and the future. Get these reviews ad-free. Hell of a bargain if you ask me. I spend a lot of time busting my ass on that site, so make sure to come over and get yourself a subscription. So let's go ahead and get right into it. This was TNA Lockdown, and I will start out the review by asking you, without giving my opinion, asking you what are some of your favorite memories of TNA Lockdown over the years. To me, it's still weird to be watching some of these pay-per-view formats on TV. Obviously, they've changed the way that they present their product, especially with the pay-per-views, so we get treated to a show like this on free TV. And, you know, I know most of you watching this are TNA fans, so I'm just going to be on the level with you here. You know, one of the things that baffles me about TNA is, you know, of course I do WWE shows as well. And I hear, we want more edgy shit. We want blood. We want this. We want that. And I'm thinking to myself, you get all of that on TNA Impact. But TNA comes with this ridiculous stigma, and these pro WWE websites bury it. And there's individuals out there that will give you a guilt trip for liking TNA. I'll tell you right now, there ain't anybody who can influence what I like or don't like. Nobody. And what it comes down to for me is I enjoy TNA. It's a carefree pro wrestling show that caters to the wants and the needs that I have as a wrestling fan. He's a grown-ass dude who doesn't want to have his intelligence insulted by pussy-ass bitches in eyeliner, you know, with his little rosebuds. You know, the rosebud is a fisted anus. Look it up, Urban Dictionary. To me, it's just fantastic. And, you know, they've been consistent since last summer. So, you know, does it have the same glitz and glamour and history as the WWE? No. But I think it's a relatable product. And it's too bad that there's people who don't even give it a chance who I think would really enjoy it, wrestling fans. Well, let's get into this. So it starts out with the TNA, you know, an intro video package where the Beatdown Clan is showing, going after Bobby Roode and Bobby Lashley. We get a quick highlight with EC3 and Rockstar Spud, and we also see Kurt Angle trying to recruit Bobby Lashley, and basically scenes from previous Lockdown shows. You know, I thought it was a good way to set the stage. So we start with a match between the Revolution, namely James Storm and Abyss, against the Hardys, Matt and Jeff, for the TNA Tag Team Championship. Steel cage match, of course. They were all steel cage matches on the show. You've got Sonata, Koya, Manic outside the ring. So Matt and Jeff take the early upper hand. They hit clotheslines, alternating clotheslines on James and Abyss in the corners. Jeff hits the poetry in motion on Abyss. He hits a running dropkick where he launches himself off Matt Hardy on James Storm. And then they both hit running low drop kicks in the corners on Abyss and Storm. So they're starting off the match, high-paced, good action, really good start to the match. They send James Storm into the cage. Jeff hits a kick to the gut, a double leg takedown on Abyss. He hits the double leg, the 2-leg drop on Abyss's yam bag. as Matt Hardy simultaneously hits a leg drop on Abyss's face. So they're tearing shit up here to start the match. All of a sudden, Manic's in the ring. And I'm like, okay. So Manic comes in the ring. Matt Hardy hits a superplex on Manic as Jeff hits one on Storm. So they're wrecking shop here. They follow that up with a double vertical suplex on Abyss. And then Matt and Jeff handcuff Manic to the cage. James Storm hits a low blow on Jeff. Cuts Matt off with a forearm. And James Storm and Abyss give Jeff Hardy the wishbone. You pull the legs apart. How? Storm punches Matt, punches him again and drops him, stomps his hand. Storm sends Matt into the top turnbuckle. Storm and Abyss headbutt Matt and send him into the cage. They send Jeff into the cage, so now Storm and Abyss have control of the match. Abyss and Storm send Matt into the cage again, and we get a commercial break. Okay? So they start off the show with action, which you have to appreciate. Again, I go back to what I said at the top of the video. This is one of the complaints with some WWE fans, but yet some of them won't give this a chance. After the commercial, Abyss slingshots Jeff into a DDT by Storm. Pretty good execution for the 2 count. Abyss hits a side slam on Matt. Storm goes to the top rope, climbs up on Abyss's shoulders, and delivers an elbow drop to Matt off Abyss's shoulders. Abyss splashes Matt. Storm covers him. We get a 2 count. Jeff cuts Abyss off with a back elbow, punches Storm, goes to the top rope, and hits a whisper in the wind on both of them. Matt hits a twist of fate cutter on Storm, while Jeff hits a twist of fate stunner on Abyss. Matt hits the cutter on Abyss. Jeff splashes Storm, and we get a simultaneous 2 count as they both go to pin Abyss and Storm. Manic pulls Jeff down by his hair. Matt goes for the moonsault. Storm moves. Storm goes to climb out of the cage. Matt cuts him off. They fight on the top rope. And Matt Hardy hits a twist of fate cutter, which he completely laid out for. Storm didn't as much, but he hits the twist of fate cutter to Storm off the top rope. So call it a super twist of fate, if you will. Koya grabs Matt and pulls him through the camera hole. And I'm like, oh, gosh. Sonata and Koya beat him up outside the ring. Jeff hits the twist of fate cutter on Abyss. Jeff goes to the top rope. Sonata spits the mist in Jeff's face. So you're getting all this outside interference in a damn cage match, which I can't stand. Storm hits the super kick on Jeff. And Storm and the Revolution win via super kick. So after the match is over, the Hardys lose. Outside interference in a cage match, which I'm not a big fan of, but it was a good match. To me, it didn't take away from the match. It's just, I know some of you TNA fans are fans of the Revolution as heels. I can't stand this stable. It sucks to me, but Storm and Koya grab a table from under the ring. They set up the table on the floor. So Matt was fighting off Koya and Storm. Koya picks Matt up and hits the thrust spine buster on him through the table. So the Revolution puts Jeff Hardy on a table in the ring. Manic goes to deliver a frog splash. Jeff moves. Manic goes through the table. Okay, so Jeff's kind of fighting him off here. He goes to climb the cage. He fights Sonata off, but ends up getting knocked off the cage and crotches the cage door, and he came down on it pretty hard. And then James Storm goes to the top of the cage, and he hits Jeff Hardy with a cowbell. And this crazy motherfucker front flips off the cage door as if that's not hard enough to land on your back without landing straight down on your head from a swinging door.
You know what's great about Paris in the fall? Please, tell me. All the flights I wanted to get there were blacked out.
You deserve a travel rewards card that lets you travel how you want. Switch to the Venture card and fly any airline, anytime. No blackout dates.
He flips off the cage door, and this dude lands on his upper back on the ring stairs. My gosh, what a sick bump. Just an absolutely brutal fall. I'm sitting there saying to myself, this dude's a freaking maniac. Jeff Hardy's been doing this stuff for years. And I remember I got into, I don't argue with wrestling fans anymore. It's not worth it. What am I going to do? Debate somebody about their opinion? But that's their opinion. It doesn't matter to me. You know, for me, it's all about how I felt when I was watching it. And for all these years, Jeff Hardy has made it a premium to fucking put his life and limb on the line and take these crazy bumps for our viewing pleasure. And here he does it again. The dude's a fucking maniac. He's an absolute fucking maniac to take that bump. Unbelievable bump. Brutal bump. It was like he didn't even rotate enough. Unbelievable. So, you know, clearly, I think we all know that Jeff Hardy can't go to England. They have a tour in England. This is the yearly write-off of Jeff Hardy. You know, to explain him not being on tour in England, aside from the legal issues, from a storyline standpoint. And was he hurt? Was he not hurt? I know that him and his brother were selling it online that he was really hurt. If he was, that was one fucking hellacious bump. And it wouldn't surprise me. So, it was incredible. So next we see the Beatdown Clan backstage. MVP says that they know how to use the cage. They will use the cage to their advantage and to paraphrase, and do to their opponents basically what just happened to Jeff Hardy, and they're going to end some careers. Okay. So all of a sudden, MVP, Kenny King, and Eric Young come out. Samoa Joe and Low Ki aren't out there with them. And MVP starts talking. And I know some of you like MVP. I know I've had people reach out to me and tell me they relate to MVP. But I am so sick and tired of listening to him talk. It's the same problem that I have with Triple H. Now, granted, his promos haven't been as long as Triple H's, but it's the same fucking thing every week with this guy. They send him out there to talk. Oh, it gets heat on him. I'm sick of it. Doesn't take away from the show as a whole. I'm just saying, holy fucking shit. I mean, my gosh. Simplify. You know how Devon says testify? I'm saying simplify. But anyway, MVP says the structure is dangerous, but it's even more dangerous when the Beatdown Clan occupies it. Okay, good line. He said it changes lives and sometimes it ends careers. He says you saw what happened to Jeff Hardy. Again, I'm not saying he's bad on the mic. I'm just saying it gets to a point where it becomes redundant and overkill with his promos to me. If you guys think I'm off base, let me know. He says it's going to be a bad night for anyone who stands in opposition of the BDC. Eric Young is acting all crazy, and he said he's going to make Roode bleed. MVP says Eric Young is going to end Bobby Roode's career. And then he calls Kurt Angle out and basically says he wants to have a gentleman's conversation. He wants to talk like grown adults. And Kurt Angle comes out, the legend. So, MVP says he has a proposal for Angle after Angle comes out. He comes out with his boys, Gunner and Aries. He talks about how dangerous the structure is, and he's giving Angle an opportunity to take his crew and save their careers, okay? He tells Gunner that he shouldn't listen to the fans, and for once, he should make a good decision and save his career. He tells Aries that, look, I know all about you. You're the most selfish dude in the building, and he says you'll make the right decision and you'll preserve your career. He says that he talked with Angle's doctor, and he knows Angle's knee is held together by scotch tape, paper clips, and bubble gum. He says if Angle sneezes too hard, he's going to blow out another tendon. He tells Angle to throw in the towel, take his team, walk away, or I'll make sure that you never walk again. Right, now granted, not a fan of all the talking that MVP does. This is a pretty good promo, though. Angle responds, paraphrasing, by basically saying he's the very best. Everyone wants to break him down. He's used to it, but he's still standing. He says they came to NYC to fight, and they're not leaving until the BDC get their asses kicked. And he says, but look, we're not going to wait. So they all start fighting. Gunner and Kenny start fighting outside the ring, but lo and behold, conspicuous by their absence, all of a sudden Low-Ki and Samoa Joe show up to take out Gunner. They work over Angle and Aries in the ring. They trap Gunner's arm in the cage, and Samoa Joe slams the door shut on his arm with a steel chair, a shot with a steel chair to the door. The BDC backs down, and Gunner's selling the living shit out of his arm on the floor. So this created an interesting storyline. Again, not a fan of MVP and all the talking, but this did create an interesting storyline in which Gunner's status for the match is left in question now. So we get a backstage segment with Team Angle. The doctor's checking on Gunner's arm. Angle asks the doctor, can Gunner go? The doctor says, look, he's only got one arm. And Gunner pipes up and says, he goes complete hard ass and says that, look, screw that. Not only am I going to go, I want to be the first guy in the match. You guys will be out there to help me. And Angle says, look, let me go talk to Lashley one last time. So they did a nice job here building up a nice layer for that match to build intrigue for the viewers to wonder who's going to compete in the main event. Will Gunner be there? Will Lashley accept his challenge? Will someone else step up to the plate? Will there be a surprise entrant? I like it. So next we get Awesome Kong against Havoc in a steel cage match. So before the match starts, they start fighting on the rampway. Awesome Kong takes the upper hand. She clotheslines Havoc on the ramp. And I'm telling you, this crowd was fired up for this match. And they started chanting, "This is awesome," right off the bat. A crowd's fired up when they do that. Havoc cuts her off, starts beating her down outside the ring. She sends her into the cage outside the ring. Not inside the cage, but into the side of the cage. Havoc drops Kong with some forearms. She sends Kong into the cage again. But Kong ends up cutting off Havoc, sends her inside the cage. Or no, she sent her into the cage door first. And at this point, you get a really loud Better Than Divas chant. And you're damn fucking right, they are. Because Vince doesn't see the value in women's wrestling, and Dixie does. So now Kong sends her into the ring. The referee closes the door, and they go head-to-head, like, stare down in the middle of the ring. They trade some nice stiff strikes, and Havoc takes the upper hand again with a running kick. Havoc hits the leg drop. We get a 2 count. They go nose-to-nose again. They both trade choke slam attempts. They start choking each other simultaneously. Kong goes for a double underhook move, but Havoc beats her back into the corner. Havoc runs at Kong. Kong sidesteps Havoc, who goes headfirst into the cage. Kong hits some decent back fists. Havoc ducks a spinning back fist and hits Kong with the choke slam. And basically, Awesome Kong fucking just no-sells the choke slam here. She climbs up to the top rope.
How do commercials work? You need a team, working together, doing all kinds of jobs. See these people? They're not acting. They're real professionals. And we hired them all on the site where more people get jobs than anywhere else. Indeed, the world's #1 job site.
Or no, the second rope. Kong climbs up to the second rope. Havoc cuts her off. She climbs up to the top rope, goes to kick Kong. Kong brushes it off and hits a pseudo power bomb. It wasn't really clean. And then Awesome Kong goes to the second rope and hits a nice splash for the 3 count in the win. So this match to me was definitely a collision. A lot of times you see these ladies in there with smaller ladies and they're trying to take care of them. But they were able to be a little more stiff with each other. And this being the first match, I'm sure we can assume that this will not be the last we see of these two working with each other. And I thought it was a nice start to the feud. And I think as they work more and become more familiar with each other in the ring, they're going to start doing more. And I think that we're going to end up getting at least 1 or 2 incredible matches out of them. And this one was a good one. I thought this was a good start to the feud. Let me know what you think. So at this point in the show, you had the promo, but you had the tag team match, okay? And this crazy Jeff Hardy bump. And you had this match between Awesome Kong and Havoc. What were you guys thinking so far? I was thinking, fuck yeah, we're off to a really good start here. So we get a Bobby Lashley against Eric Young video next. We get highlights of Eric Young Bobby Roode and Eric Young highlights. And we get the highlights of Eric Young turning on Roode. And just basically highlights from the feud so far, things they've said, things of that nature. Pretty good video. So we see a clip from 2 weeks ago. And it's Velvet Sky and Angelina Love backstage. Velvet's telling Angelina that she just got fired. She explains what happened with the briefcase. Velvet's trying to sell crying. Angelina's smiling the whole time. And wow, you talk about the moneymaker with the Miz, right? That's the puke maker. Is that mean? But anyway, I guess I shouldn't have said that. That was kind of mean, but I just don't like looking at her. But like I said, she sells excitement over Velvet being fired. She's on her own now. She's excited about that. Velvet leaves, and then Angelina says, "Oh, finally." And I'm like, okay. Is Velvet really gone, or is she going to come back as a face, and they're going to feud? I don't know. So Bobby Lashley's shown arriving at the arena, and the cameraman tells him, "Look, Kurt Angle's looking for you." And Lashley says, "Angle's looking for me? I'm not hard to find." And he walks off. Simple but effective. Alright, so next we get a match that I was really looking forward to. Eric Young against Bobby Roode, steel cage match. Eric Young, good worker, crisp worker. He's got a nice moveset. Bobby Roode's the man, Mr. Intensity, the it factor. And I just think their styles work so well together. And they had promised blood. So before the match starts, Roode's yelling at EY that he's gonna kill him. "I'm gonna kill you!" And he says, "Do you know what you've done?" or something to that effect. So Roode takes the early advantage. He hits a backdrop. They go back and forth with each guy attempting to send the other into the cage. And I like that right there because they teased blood, and they're also teasing who's going to get rammed into the cage first and bleed. That reminds me of old school cage matches, you know? EY hits Rude with a back elbow, comes off the ropes, and Rude gets up to hit EY with a nasty fucking clothesline. The crowd at this point is chanting, "We want blood." EY cuts Rude off, sends him back first into the cage, and then throws him into the cage sideways between the ropes. And then slams the back of Rude's head into the cage twice. EY comes off the ropes and hits a cross body on Rude into the cage. He hits a nice belly-to-belly suplex for the 2 count. And shout out to Taz for making mention of Magnum TA, and he called him the franchise Shane Douglas with that classic belly-to-belly suplex. I liked it. EY reverses a whip, sends Rude into the corner. EY takes the boot. Rude comes out of the corner, and EY hits a nice power slam for the 2 count. Nice, crisp match. Good storytelling going on here. Good pace to the match. MVP comes out now, of course, and hands EY a steel chair through the camera hole, and you've got Josh Matthews is like, maybe we should close those holes for these matches. Well, that's what they shoot the footage through, so that ain't gonna happen. Rude ducks the chair shot attempt. He goes for a Rude bomb. EY slips out the back. He goes for a pile driver, and Rude counters it with a slingshot and sends EY headfirst into the cage. And Eric Young blades. Oh my gosh, he's going to get a disease as if they can't get tested before they blade. Love it! And the crowd was chanting, you heard a faint yes, yes, yes chant. Rude hits EY with some punches. Drops him, sends him into the cage a couple times, and this is what you call putting over the cage. The bleeding. Head hit the steel, head bleeds. Simple. That's the way that, as longtime wrestling fans, we were conditioned to believe a cage does to you. This is what you expect in cage matches. So fucking thank you, Eric Young, for taking that little razor blade and giving yourself a little cut and putting over the cage. And thank you, TNA, for letting them do it. Thank you, Destination America, for letting them do it. Because I watched these cage matches in the E, and it completely ruins everything you learned over all those years about cage matches. They need to stop having. So anyway. So Rude pushes EY off. He hits a nice spine buster for the 2 count. Still not over the strep throat completely. Rude props EY up on the top rope. Rude goes up, picks EY up for a super Rude bomb, which would have been cool. EY fights him off and sends Rude into the cage twice. And I thought Rude was going to blade, but he didn't. He pushes Rude off the top rope, and at that point delivers an elbow drop for a 2 count. And he throws that elbow drop with such nice form. I love his elbow drop. EY lays in a steel chair shot on Rude's back that bends the chair. He goes to the top rope. Rude gets up and throws the chair at EY right in the gut. Rude then hits him in the gut, like stabs him in the gut with the chair, and delivers a pretty good chair shot to EY's back. So they're wrestling a very physical match here. And you've got the blood. It's going to look very good in their highlight packages. Rude yells something at EY, calls him a son of a bitch, and picks him up and delivers the Rude bomb, which is a standing fireman's carry into neckbreaker, to EY on the steel chair for the 3 count and the win. Folks, that's a throwback cage match. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, the cage made him bleed. You had a good pace to the match. You had good wrestling moves. I mean, it was just a straight throwback. No bullshit. No no pussies allowed steel cage match from these two, and I fucking loved it. Loved it. I didn't need a moonsault off the top of the cage. I didn't need a 450 splash. I didn't need a bunch of 5'6" guys doing crazy flips and shit. This is the way that you should work a cage match. Sucks that the wrestling industry's gotten away from that as far as the mainstream. But at least not TNA. So next we see Kurt Angle and Bobby Lashley backstage. Angle asks Lashley, can they talk? Lashley goes to get up and leave, and Angle stops him. He's like, look, I'm not coming for your title. I want to fight side by side with you. So when we do have that title match together, I'm...
Attention, everyone. 5-Hour Energy's taste is new and improved. That's right. 5-Hour Energy shots now taste great and come in 10 exciting flavors. A lot of brands think you can't handle straightforward information like this. But to make an informed decision, we know you want facts, not some cheap joke. New improved taste, 10 great flavors. Have you tried 5-Hour Energy lately?
And I'm like, title match, okay. It can be on their terms. And Lashley's like rejecting him, and Angle pushes Lashley back into the wall. And he says, look, we need each other. Wake your ass up, Bobby! And the segment ends right there. Perfect. Perfect teaser for the main event. Nice to see a lot of this shit happening backstage too, and not in the ring. So we get Rockstar Spud and Mandrews against Tyrus in a handicap steel cage match with EC3 ringside. Tyrus starts out the match with a double clothesline. He hits the over-the-shoulder face buster on Spud and an avalanche on Mandrews. Good start for Tyrus. He continues to work them over with some lower impact stuff until Spud and Mandrews hit a double dropkick on him. They both hit low dropkicks on him, but he cuts them back off. And he just fucking launches Mandrews into the turnbuckle face first. I like that move. One of his best moves ever. Pretty damn impressive throw. So Tyrus goes for the powerbomb on Spud. Spud fights him off, goes to the top row. Spud climbs to the top of the cage, and I'm like, is he leaving the... No way. Spud stands up on top of the cage, flips EC3 off, which they blurred out, and he says, fuck you, to EC3, and this dude, balls to the wall, balls on the table, hits a front flip plancha off the top of the cage to Tyrus, and lands with a flat back bump on the ring from the top of the motherfucking cage. You want to talk about an awesome move. Mandrews goes to climb the cage. EC3 spits on him. So Mandrews goes to leave the ring and attack EC3. He's going out of the ring, and EC3 kind of leg trips him, and Mandrews takes a bump, flat back bump, and lands with his head on the corner of one of the ring stairs. Ouch! So EC3 starts distracting Spud with the Mandrews. Spud climbs over the cage door, or over to the cage door, sorry. And then EC3 slams the cage door shut right on Spud's head. And I mean, this looked good. It looked really good. And Tyrus hit his little lame pop-up spike. I'm going to hit you in the throat with my thumb finisher, which is so lame, for the 3 count and the win. So, okay. After the match, I'm just not a fan of Tyrus, man, in the way that that dude has way more potential than he shows. And someone needs to pull him aside and say, dude, you're a beast. Get rid of anything that reminds people of Brodus Clay. Shave your fucking head. Alright? We're going to get you some new ring gear. and you are going to hit these 6 to 10 moves that are all high fucking impact. Sit out powerbomb. Michinoku driver. I mean, give this dude some different fucking moves so he can cut the ties from the memories that people have of him being a dancing fucking dinosaur. A pop-up throat stab with your thumb is not going to do it. But anyway, after the match, EC3 goes to shave Spud's head. And Jeremy Borash takes scissors and cuts the cord to the clippers so he can't shave Spud's head. And then EC3 chases Borash into the crowd. And the segment ends. I thought it was weird that they were using a plug-in. When I saw him plug it into the extension cord, I'm like, wait, in wrestling they always use cordless clippers, but then it made sense. So, moment of the match was Spud's front flip planche off the top of the cage, obviously. Segment was alright. It was alright. Alright, so next we get a Bobby Roode promo, and Mr. fucking consistency on the mic, in that ring, with his persona, with his intensity. Roode says, and he's cutting this really intense promo, he says him and EY go back 15 years. They started in the business together. They started in this company together. He said that all ended when EY cost him the championship. He said he will never forget it, and he will never forgive him for it. We'll see about that in a year. Roode says he told him he was going to make him bleed, and he made him pay for it. And then Roode says he was his brother, his best friend, but it's time to move on, and it's time for the it factor to get back the World Heavyweight Championship. Great fucking promo. Great promo. So next we see some race between Robbie E. and Brooke Tessmacher where they did the spin around the baseball bat thing. They raced into the ring. It's just highlights of this thing. She hits a head scissors takedown on him. They race to the finish line. He pushes her off the stage, but she ends up crotching him with a baseball bat. And she beats him across the finish line. I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing Brooke Tessmacher back in the ring wrestling against women, but Robbie E's funny, and for a little highlight segment, it was kind of entertaining. So. Alright, we get to the main event, which was the Team Angle against the Beatdown Clan Lethal Lockdown match. The thing I love about this match is it reminds me, WCW fans, say it with me, of War Games. Man, I miss watching the Horsemen in War Games. So the match starts out with Kenny King and Gunner. Gunner's really selling the arm hard, and Kenny works over Gunner's arm. Gunner cuts him off by backdropping him into the cage. He sends him face first into the cage, hits Kenny with a garbage can lid because they had weapons all strapped up around the cage, sends him face first into the cage again, and then starts choking him with a tonfa. Fellow martial artists out there, you know why I call it a tonfa. Because if you're in a martial arts class that teaches weapons, that's what you're taught it's called. Or that's what you're taught it's called, is a tonfa. Not a nightstick, but a tonfa. Little lesson too. People not familiar with that. Low Key comes out next, okay? Gunner momentarily gets the upper hand on Low Key, but Kenny cuts him off with a garbage can lid shot to the back. Low Key hits him with one to the head. Kenny beats on him with the tonfa. Low Key hits a big chop. Gunner goes to fight back, and they cut him off again. Kenny hits Gunner in the head with the trash can lid again, and they work him over in the corner. And Low Key hits a snapmare and a really nice stiff stomp. So we get the countdown, and the next wrestler to come out was Austin Aries. Aries comes into the ring, high-paced, hits the discus forearm on Low Ki, a face buster on Kenny, STO, pendulum elbow drop, running drop kick in the corner on Low Ki. The crowd's chanting for Aries, dudes wrecking shop. Gunner puts Kenny on his shoulders. Aries comes off the top rope with a trash can lid. Shot to the head, almost like a doomsday device, except for with the trash can lid shot. Aries hits a nice elbow drop to Kenny King with the trash can lid across his face. Aries hits Kenny with a Tonfa shot to the gut. A trash can lid to the shot to the back of the head. Gunner chokes Low Ki with a tennis racket. Aries hits a missile drop kick. Low Ki sends Gunner face first into a steel chair. We get a countdown and Samoa Joe comes out. So it just keeps getting better. Joe cuts Aries off with a clothesline and hits a nice clothesline on Gunner. Joe hits his back avalanche, we'll call it, and the kick in the corner on Aries. He sends Aries into the cage. Joe claps 2 can lids on Aries' head. Lays in a trash can lid to Gunner's head. Kenny body slams Gunner. Joe lays in another trash can lid shot to Aries' head. And they start working over the baby faces with wrestling holds. Joe takes a hockey stick and beats on Aries with it.
Hello. 5-Hour Energy's taste is new and improved. Every flavor. Berry, orange, pomegranate, pink lemonade, grape, citrus lime, plus extra strength flavors like berry, grape, sour apple, and new strawberry watermelon. Delicious. I bet you thought that was going to fall, didn't you? New improved taste, 10 great flavors. Have you tried 5-Hour Energy lately?
With it. And we get another countdown, so this all set up Kurt Angle coming out. So Angle gets in the ring and he ducks a hockey stick shot from Joe. Hits a nice, and I mean nice, emphatic German suplex on Joe. Angle takes Kenny down and beats on him. He works Kenny over in the corner. Hits a snap suplex on Kenny. Gunner hits a kendo stick shot on Joe. And Low Ki hits this nasty fucking diving stomp on Austin Aries in the corner. Kenny cuts Gunner off with the trash can lid shot to the back. Trash can lid, weapon of choice in this match. MVP comes out next. So MVP lays in kendo stick shots to Aries and Gunner, but Angle cuts him off with a German suplex. Samoa Joe cuts Angle off with a trash can lid shot to the back of the head before a commercial. After the commercial break, it's carnage in the fucking ring. Low Ki, you've got Gunner inside a trash can, and he hits his diving stomp, not off the top rope, but just a stomp on Gunner, who's inside the trash can, and he completely smashes this trash can on Gunner. MVP, it's a running boot in the corner on Gunner, who's got the trash can over his head at this point. Angle takes all of the members of the Beatdown Clan out with trash can lid shots to their head. Gunner sends Kenny into the cage door. Joe starts laying in kendo stick shots to Team Angle. Joe hits a kendo stick shot on Angle's surgically repaired knee. Joe sends Gunner into the cage. Kenny hits a kick to Aries, who's inside a garbage can. And at this point, the BDC has the upper hand. And this was to set up the countdown, and Bobby Lashley comes out. So yes, Lashley, in fact, was in the match. So Lashley jumps in the ring, and he offers MVP a handshake. They shake hands, but then he grabs MVP's hand and hits MVP with a short arm clothesline. Lashley drops Joe with a punch. Hits a Dominator on Kenny. Press slams Low Ki into the cage. Kenny and MVP double team Lashley to cut him off. MVP chokes Lashley in the corner. Kenny works over Angle's good leg. Joe hits a big boot on Gunner and a backsplash on Gunner to a garbage can on his chest, crushing the garbage can. Which these flimsy garbage cans they use nowadays, after RVD cut his eye open on one of those, I worry about that watching this. That one of these times someone's going to just slice themselves open with one of the things. But Joe goes for the pin, but Aries breaks it up. MVP body slams Aries and drops an elbow. Joe goes for a muscle buster, but Angle slips out of it and locks in the ankle lock. Aries puts on the last chancery. Gunner puts the torture rack on Kenny. And Lashley hits a spear on MVP to get the 3 count. So they all execute moves at the end. Lashley with the spear. 1, 2, 3. And Team Angle wins via the spear. It was a damn good, as you could hear, a damn good Lethal Lockdown match. I really enjoyed it. My overall show rating for this year's TNA Lockdown on Destination America. It was a pay-per-view worthy show. You had it all. You saw good wrestling. You saw good tough women's wrestling. You saw blood. You saw hardcore shit. And you saw good booking. I didn't feel like my intelligence was being insulted. I felt relaxed. It was enjoyable. It was a good motherfucking show. And it's that simple. It was good. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. To me, the show was absolutely excellent. TNA is killing it. If someone were to say, tell me something negative about TNA. The production doesn't feel as good as it used to with Spike. But they're still very early in their relationship with Destination America. If someone can't get past the production, I get that. But let me put it to you this way. Have you seen ROH? Oh, they've got some great athletes and great wrestlers, taking nothing away from them. But TNA's production blows away ROH. WWE's production blows away TNA's. But TNA's content blows away WWE's, which is the most important to me. So to me, TNA, NXT is really fun to watch. It's 1 hour a week. But to me right now, TNA is appointment TV every week, and they are getting the motherfucking job done. And these shows they've got so many twists and turns. And people you want to see being used in a certain capacity are being used in that capacity. They're not going, yeah, Bram, we're going to make him the next face of the company. They're not shoving anyone down your throat. Maybe MVP's promos to a certain degree. But they're doing it right, man. So if you're a TNA fan, be proud. If someone criticizes you being a TNA fan, fuck them. If someone doesn't want to be a TNA fan, hey, more power to them. But what I'm saying is, I'm talking to you watching this video. We all have had someone attack us for liking TNA, which is ridiculous. They need to get over it. Because to a lot of us, TNA kicks fucking ass. And it's as simple as that. And I'm going to leave it there. So I'm going to wrap up this solo video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm not feeling all that great right now, but I pushed through it. My throat keeps drying out. Damn it. I've been battling strep throat. And it is motherfucker, man. Getting better, though. Yeah, I'm going to wrap it up there. I want to thank each and every one of you for checking this video out. And all of you subscribers, thank you. If you haven't subscribed, jump on board the Blitz team. Subscribe to the channel. Take the extra step. Come over to BlitzSportsNetwork.com and get on the VIP Blitz team. There are so many cool wrestling fans on there. And I think you'll really enjoy the vibe on the website. It's not, it's just got a different vibe to it. That's the best way I can describe it. You'll enjoy it. Do me a favor and like the video below if you appreciated this video or enjoyed this video. And then visit my channel for my other videos. But the end of the day, TNA's the shit, in my opinion. And if you feel the same way, fuck anybody who tries to convince you otherwise. But with that being said, I'm going to get going, and I'll talk to you all again soon. I'm out.